Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of Lisa Renee TV. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and make sure you subscribe today before you leave. And make sure to hit the thumbs up button if you like what you see, and to share the video on all your social networks that you happen to be on. All right, welcome back, guys. Welcome back, new people. Welcome back, my current subbies. So welcome back. It's always good to be in front of the camera as usual. All right. Okay, so let's get into tonight's topic. Okay, so tonight's video is entitled "Ouch, Your Marriage Hurts Me." So are some Christian marriages hurting singles and also other people in general? So how to have a Christian marriage that glorifies Christ and not disgraces him. So this topic kind of came to me probably within the past day or two. Just something that God laid on my heart to speak about, because it's like from personal, like partially from personal experience, like from what I've been actually experiencing myself. A couple of experiences that I had, like one was a week or so ago, and then one was like a couple days ago. Okay, so your marriage to your future spouse should uplift and honor Christ to the fullest extent. And that's the true meaning of having a Christ centered union. So always remember that. So a couple of weeks ago, me and my mom were out shopping. We were at Sam's Club. And so I went over that. If anybody who shops at Sam's Club, you know they have samples, right? So they give out samples. It's like people at these little sample booths all over the store. So I go over to the sample booth and I'm sampling like some little vitamin chewies or whatever. So it's two different trays with two different type of vitamins. So I'm asking the lady, because I'm like, I don't want to grab just anything. I'm like, this is medicine almost. This is vitamin. I don't want it like it's food. I'm like, I don't want to grab just anything. I'm like, so I was like, what's the difference? The woman is telling me what's the difference between the vitamins and what they do to you. And so this lady walks up behind me. Now, when I came in the store, I noticed this man. He was like on his cell phone, and I think he was looking at me. I noticed him looking at me, but I wasn't paying too much attention to him, And okay, just for the story's sake, I'll tell you what I had on that day. So I had on like my red and black jacket. I had on a red shirt, and I had on my black leggings, my black flawless leggings that I got from Torrid. And I was cute. I was matching all from head to toe. I was cute. My little black gym shoes with the it's like a silver, no, it's a golden stripe on the side. Okay, so I was cute. And yeah, I think my hair was hanging down like it is now. So yeah, so it's me and mom, we out having a girls' day shopping. And so I'm over by the vitamin thing, and this lady walks up like kind of beside me, and I never turned to look at her at all, but I could see her out of my peripheral vision. She's wearing like a blue coat, out the side of my eyes, what I saw. And she was like, "Oh, excuse me," because she was trying to just get the vitamin. And so she reached over me and got a vitamin. And she was like, "Let me just grab one, and you could just then you can stand here and ponder." I was like, what? And I'm like, I'm busy talking to the lady about the vitamins or whatever, what they do, And I didn't really respond to her. I just ignored her. I thought the comment was ignorant and stupid and unnecessary. So I never, turn around to respond to her. I didn't even look her way. I never looked her way. I'm like, I'm talking to the lady about something, so I'm not really paying her too much mind. I just didn't understand why she would say that. Like, totally unnecessary thing. If you say, excuse me, let me just get this, I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. You can go ahead and get the vitamin, because clearly I'm not ready to move yet. So, yeah, go ahead and get your vitamins. Go, bye, bye. But you ain't got to, you ain't got to say nothing to me. You have to say nothing extra other than, excuse me, I just want to get, And I moved back. I was like, yeah, sure, Mama, you don't have to say nothing stupid. So, and people sometimes just say stupid stuff in general. Then I saw them together later on, her and the man who had looked at me earlier. So I figured out they was married. I was like, oh, okay, they together, so they married. Well, at least in a relationship, right? So they together. So I kind of thought about that. that experience and like why I went through that. And it was just so weird. I'm like, why am I having these little funky experiences? I know sometimes things just happen in life, it's like no reason why. You just go through stuff, like even if it's not pleasant, you're just gonna go through it because it's just people are dumb sometimes. It just happens. Like it's just the devil's busy, it just stuff happens. And then I had another experience on the train like a couple days ago headed to work. I was trying to figure out where to sit, and I like to sit in the back of the train, because it's kind of comfy and it's cozy little area. I'm like, okay, I like that. I kind of sit back there. I do my Bible study and everything on the train. I read the daily word, so I'm just chilling out. And I go back there, and it's like a woman sitting right here, on one side. Across from her is a man with a boy, a little boy. He's like probably 5 years old or 7. And so, and she's like trying to pass him a muffin or something, and they're talking to each other, and it was so crazy because I thought she was a little girl at first. She looked very young in the face. I didn't realize she was a woman until later. So I was trying to pass by, and I was trying to figure out where I was sitting to. I wasn't paying too much attention to them, and I just happened to glance to look her way. I was trying to see what I was doing. And then she like rolled her eyes at me. It was just really bizarre. I was like, why is she rolling? It was just bizarre. So I sat down by her at first, and I got up like a few moments later because I just felt really uncomfortable. And I could just feel something in me telling me like, get up and like go move down there. Don't sit here. So I just like moved. But anyway, she got off the train anyway a few stops later. But I was like, it was just it was just bizarre. I was like, why are you rolling your eyes at me? And then I couldn't figure. I don't know if they were together or not. It was weird, but um. I don't know. So it's like what I'm gleaning from that is that there's this jealousy thing going on, and like I hate to say people are jealous of me because like I don't want it to sound like it's coming off from a spirit of haughtiness on my part when I'm like, oh, you jealous of me and I'm this, that, and the third. Like it's not like that. But the spirit of jealousy does walk among us, right? Right, ladies. It's out here, and I noticed. It's just been more prevalent lately, and as far as like what it has to do with married couples and singles, I think it can have a lot to do with that because if your marriage, I know every marriage doesn't have Christ at the center of it. It just doesn't, So of course, from a worldly couple, you're not going to, expect that from a worldly couple. Like well, they probably don't have Christ at the center anyway, so I'm not shocked. But if it's a Christian couple, and then you do have, a woman who is jealous of other women, who has a problem with envy, with other women, or she has a low self-esteem problem, insecurity problem. It can leak out, and it can cause her to treat other people in such a manner, whether it be, a single woman, if she sees a single woman, she feels like, oh, my husband is looking at this. And maybe her husband is looking at the single woman. Like maybe her husband suffers with lust. So he has a lust issue. She has an insecurity issue. And so they both have issues that God has not dealt with. And so because of that, it's damaging to their marriage. It's not, their marriage is not glorifying God at the moment. It's kind of disgracing him, and it's also making their marriage does not uplift other people around them. Your marriage should also, kind of inspire other people, and it really is not doing that. It's making other people uncomfortable. So it's causing her to say stupid stuff to people she don't know. Let's just say for kicks that his issue was lust. He was looking at me, and her issue was insecurity, that she didn't like how I looked, and she felt like I looked better than her because she was kind of, plump. She was kind of a bigger woman. She was plump. So maybe she could have looked at me and said, "Oh, I'm more fit than her." She could have felt that way, for instance. So yeah, I don't feel that way at all. But she could have felt like, "Oh, she looks better than me." And my husband's looking at her. So now she's taking it out on me and says I'm stupid to me as opposed to addressing him. I'm like, you could have addressed him if you felt like it was a problem there. But people do it all the time. They will go, and there are women who do it all the time. They attack the other woman. They're basically taking their own insecurities and projecting them onto other people instead of saying, I need to deal with me. This is how I feel. I don't like myself. I don't think I look good. I don't feel good about me. I don't like who I am. Let me take this to God. Let me deal with this. Let me do this for myself instead of I'm going to, cuss my husband out, or I will cuss out this woman who I thought he was looking at, and like this woman probably didn't think about your husband like that, but it's because of your own insecurity that's kind of leaking in, and it's kind of talking to you, and the enemy's kind of using you in that moment. So 1 Corinthians 3:3, you are still worldly, for since there is jealousy and quarreling among you, are you not worldly? Are you not acting like mere humans? So that's what that verse is saying. Like, you're acting like a mere human. You're acting very worldly in this moment. So if you do profess Jesus Christ, even if you were to say that and say, "Oh, my marriage is a Christian marriage. We are both Christians," you are acting like a mere human. You are acting worldly in that very moment. Okay, so that's not a Christ like spirit that you are displaying in that particular moment. 1 Corinthians 13:4. Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. So these are just things we have to think about. So basically, if you're a nasty woman in general, or man, you can be a nasty man too. It's a reflection of your marriage's character. Every marriage has a particular character and a personality. So that's just a reflection of how your marriage really is. And you would treat your spouse and how you treat your spouse, or how you do treat them if you're already married. Men look for certain traits when choosing a wife, and women the same for husbands. So men look for certain traits in a wife, like when they're looking for wives. There's so many men out here who are looking for wives now, and so many women looking for husbands. So when a man is choosing a wife, he's going to look for certain characters inside of a woman. I know we all love Proverbs 31, but all of us are not Proverbs 31 women, and nowhere near it, because we have ugliness inside of us, and it bubbles up at different points. Of course, I'm not bashing anyone. I'm just saying these are self-check moments. You got to check yourself sometimes before you wreck yourself. Seriously, before you wreck your marriage, by mistake, because you're going to end up acting a fool when you never need to play the part of a fool, because you're not a fool, we all have acted a fool. We all have had a moment, but we don't have to do that when we know better. So when you know better, you do better. But, we got to take a self-check moment. So, a man who's looking for a wife, he's not going to look for a woman who has an insecurity problem, has a self-esteem problem. She is loud, nasty with other women and other people in general, because how you treat other people is a reflection of how you will treat him. And that's what he's looking at. A lot of times, some women don't know that, and some women, they never think about that. And we've all known a woman who is like, she's not a good person. Like, she has moments of niceness and kindness. It's like always like, you always gonna pay for it when she's nice to you. I'm like, you're gonna pay for that later, right? Like, she's only nice now because it benefited her. It did something for her. She was only nice for a second. Like, it's very rare that she's nice. And this woman may be married, and for some reason this man deals with it, and we like, how does he get along? Like, I don't know, why is he putting up with that? It could be there's something inside of him, something up with him. Like, why is he dealing with that kind of woman? He doesn't know any better. He's too weak to realize, or just not. He's not realizing either. He's not all together either. But that's definitely a marriage that disgraces Christ. It does not glorify or uplift Christ at all. It definitely doesn't uplift anybody else. It definitely doesn't inspire anybody else. You see what I'm saying? Like, she has these issues, that she's dealing with, that she's never given to Christ. She's never dealt with, and it's crazy. It just spilled over into her marriage. It went from the time she was single to the time that she got wed. She's gonna be the same person. So are you. You're gonna be the same person. So if you are a woman who is a nasty woman in general, or a man, if you're a nasty guy in general, and y'all gotta excuse me, allergies. But if you're a nasty woman or a nasty man in general, and your character is not right, your character is contaminated with the filth of the world, the filth of the enemy, the filth of the sin that you're in, that you've never been delivered from. Guess what? Your marriage's character will also be contaminated, because it's just gonna be two. Because when you're single, you're one, and when you're married, you're two. So it's just two. And then just imagine how messy that is, right? I mean, you're already one person when you're single, and then you're contaminated, and your life is maybe wrecked in certain areas. So imagine bringing another person into it, and they're contaminated with things, or they're not contaminated, and you contaminate them. It's like a kid who has a cold, and they hand, and then touch another kid. What happens? The other kid gets sick. The other kid wasn't sick before, now they are. So that's what you're doing with your marriage. That's what you're going to do with your spouse, your husband, or your wife, and you all going to come together. and holy messiness, and instead of holy matrimony, it's gonna be holy messiness, and it's not gonna be nice. So these are just things that we have to think about, in our single season. That's why God blesses us with a single season. We should thank Him for a single season instead of being so upset that we're still single. Thank Him that He lets you prepare yourself. Because, God has shown me, He showed me, what jealousy and insecurity looks like, after it's like okay, first is a seed is planted, right? And somebody waters it, it grows, and when it's a full grown dog, not a little puppy no more, it's a full grown pit bull. Oh, that thing is ugly. Because I've experienced it. Like I've had, I didn't been left in the cold before. Like literally in the cold. It was like one of the coldest nights ever on Valentine's night. I was hanging out with the girls, these two girls that were friends of my friend. We still friends. We've been friends for years since college. But her two friends, like who I thought we were all gonna be buddies and whatever. One of the girls like, oh, we're gonna be best friends, and she had this issue with me, and I didn't even know, but it was a jealousy, like insecurity issue with her because she had things that she had never dealt with, and she would act so holier than thou, was so annoying. And the other girl, who I don't know, she just had issues in general, so it was just really crazy. And they ended up, we was getting ready to leave for dinner, and they got their little Uber ride, and at the time, Uber was kind of new to me. I didn't know nothing about it. I didn't know nothing about the app or how to download it or what. And they ended up leaving, and they was like, "Yeah, we got a ride," and they didn't tell me nothing about it. The girl looked at me all stank in the face, and I'm like, both of them had gave me like real stank looks that night, and they was out. They left me. I'm like, it's real cold outside. It was okay though. God took care of me because I had a ride. I had a train. I just got on the train and took me on. The train was like a block away. It was so cold outside, and I took the red line, and I went on back where I was supposed to be. I got on back home. My mom picked me up once I got to the station, so it wasn't no big deal. But I've seen how jealousy and how insecurity looks when it's a full grown dog and it's nothing to play with. It's the ugliest thing you've ever seen. You know. Ecclesiastes 4:4, and I saw that all toil and all achievements spring from one person's envy of another. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. So anytime you get something in life or you accomplish something based on your envy and jealousy of another person, it's nothing, and you'll lose it soon, and it will not last long. So don't think that you into something. They don't ever try to get or achieve something based on you're being jealous and hateful or spiteful of someone else. It's not the road you want to go down. You'll lose it, because it's not anything that you won, with honor. So that's why you lose it. Proverbs 14:30. A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones. So the body here doesn't refer to your physical body as much. It refers to the body of Christ. So basically, when you are jealous and full of envy, it's like you won't be able to focus on God and what He's doing in your life because you'll be so focused on what other people are doing. So it takes away from who you are spiritually, who you're meant to be. You kind of tearing yourself away. You're taking yourself away from God. He's like, I'm trying to get you to come to me, to look at me, but you're like, no, I don't understand why she got a car first, and I asked for a car about 3 times now. She got a man first, and all this. So just be very careful with that. Proverbs 27:4. Anger is cruel and fury overwhelming, but who can stand before jealousy? So that's why I just spoke on a moment ago about when I got left in the cold. Like jealousy it's mean. It's horrible. It's very daunting. It's like a real big scary monster running after you. That's the boogeyman. You know what the boogeyman is? Jealousy. Jealousy. Anger is one thing, fury is another, but jealousy and insecurity, it can create. If you watch reality TV, you watch jealousy and envy all the time, insecurity and what it does. It can rupture so much, it can tear up so much. Anger and fear is a part of that, but jealousy, whoa. Whew. Now that's something else. And this is the last verse I'm going to leave you with for the day. Galatians 5:22-23. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. So those are also some of the qualities that you should have as a wife to be, as a wife in general, or as a husband to be. If you ever wonder what kind of qualities should I have, inside of me if I want to be a wife. Galatians 25 and 22 to 23. Peace, joy, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness. These are all beautiful qualities to have as a woman, as a man, for a spouse. And not just for a spouse, but for you, because you have joy inside of you that radiates, that will confuse the normal mind. I've had people just like look at me and they be like inspired by like my happiness. Like it was this guy who I used to work with in my last job, and he was like, I'm gonna be like you. I'm just gonna walk around happy all the time. And people just, and that's beautiful, but people just look at you and they just like, wow, you have this joy that radiates. It's not manufactured. Walmart can't sell it. Target don't sell it. It's nowhere you can buy it in a store because it came from God. He gives it to you. It's nobody can make it. Can't no man down here do nothing like that for you. As far as that kind of joy, like no, that only comes from your relationship with God. So, definitely don't forsake that. That's something that you want to go get. You want to have that relationship with Him, and I'm telling you, it'll be worth your while. So. That's all I have for you guys this week. I hope that you really enjoyed this topic. If you did, please thumbs up and make sure you share it so other people can, get in on it. We want to share. We want to share the word. Share it. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching, and I should be back next week. All right. You guys have a blessed rest of your week. Bye.